Let's start with introductions. Can you introduce yourself? Name, age, pronoun, sexuality?
My name is Swifty. Um, I am 22 years old. My pronouns are he, him, and I am gay.
All right, so how old were you when you realized who you were, and what exactly made you realize it?
I want to say I was maybe around 16 or 17, and it was just for the fact that I did have an ex girlfriend, and I physically could not connect with her in a way that I did with, a guy. I could not connect her in those ways. I didn't find her, like, attractive in like kind of like emotional and romantic ways or anything like that. But whenever I, tried having a boyfriend, maybe about a year later, when I was like maybe 2 years later, when I turned 18, I tried it out, and I actually felt right. If that makes sense, I felt right.
All right, so Swifty, what was the exact story of how you came out to your friends and family?
So I haven't actually like came out to most of my friends. I came out to only one just because he's my best friend. And it's kind of funny. I didn't even have to tell him. He just figured it out on his own. But the people I really told was my parents. This happened about a year ago, actually, maybe like 4 days ago, actually, which is kind of crazy. I basically did it because I wanted to be able to be with my ex, and without like the worry of them saying like, "Oh, you're gonna go meet up with him out of this nowhere situation" type deal. That's why I came up to them first. But yeah, um, I did it. I came up with my friend. Maybe I don't know, 2 months later, just because of the fact that he like brought it up to me, asking me if I was, and I was like, "Yeah, yeah, I am." And I mean, like most of my family and all that, they're pretty, lenient. A little step back with my dad, but you know, who doesn't?
So, who was the first person you came out to, and why exactly did you choose that person?
I came out to my mom first. She's basically my best friend. She has been there. She's been through every little stump I've had in my life. I felt like I at least needed to be honest with her about everything, and she was really, really understanding of where I was coming from with everything. Yeah, my mom was the first one I ever came out to.
What would you say was the most challenging part of your coming out journey?
The most challenging part was probably coming out to my dad, just for the fact that he, backstory, we're from Texas. He's very Christian. He's very conservative. So both of those things combined, he always talks about homophobic. He always has been homophobic. Always talked about it. But so that's the reason why I was really nervous to come out to him. I told him, and it was actually really, really nice how he reacted to it because I was not expecting that in a ways. But yeah, my dad was probably the hardest part about me coming out because I thought he was going to disown me.
How would you say that your life has changed since coming out?
I would probably say the biggest thing on me is the stress relief of having all of that pinned on me at once. I think that is the biggest thing out of all, just because whenever I was still not out, I had a lot of stress, always thinking about if my parents were going to disown me or if they were going to, like, react the way then hopefully they would react in a way. Because, I didn't want to lose my family over this, but I also wanted to, feel free to do whatever I want and date whoever I want type deal.
So, Swifty, in your experiences, what would you say exactly are the pros and cons since coming out?
Well, like I said, one of the pros is it's a big stress and anxiety relief. That is one of the pros. I don't have to worry about talking with my boyfriend, hiding my phone away from my parents. I don't have to, hide myself. That's probably the biggest pros. I don't have to hide myself. I can be honest and be open, and my parents understand, and all my friends understand. I don't have to hide it. I think some of the cons about it is one, my dad kind of looks at me a little different now, but it's to be expected. I guess he's still getting used to it, but it's still kind of weird to talk to him because he already sees it like that. So I really don't have too many cons, just for the fact that when I came out, it went actually pretty smooth. To be honest with you, I had a lot more cons. I had a lot more pros than cons.
Okay, so Swifty, what advice would you give to someone struggling to come out and be open with who they are?
I'm going to go back to what I always say. I always say be yourself, because that is the number one thing you have to worry about. If you're not being yourself, you're not your real self in a way like that. I would say, if you do tell someone, give it time. Always give it time, because not everyone is going to adjust just with the little snap of a finger. You have to give it time. But if they don't love you for you, then they don't deserve to have your time.